Why wasn't Frank Thomas in the 1990 Upper Deck set? The answer isn't very clear, but it might be super simple. Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. So, somebody in one of my comments a while back asked, why wasn't Frank Thomas in the 1990 Upper Deck set when they had Ken Griffey Jr. as card number 1 the year before that? And Frank Thomas, who ended up going on to become a great player, easy Hall of Famer, wasn't in the 1990 set when he was a rookie. Why is that? And I thought, well, that's a great question. So I started researching it this morning and I thought, this is exactly why I created my channel years ago. Even though I don't have a clear answer, I have some theories here and I figured it was worth a video. So 1989 Upper Deck, Ken Griffey Jr. was card number 1. Ken Griffey Jr., the series, according to Baseball Cards Wiki, I think 89 Upper Deck was released in February of 1989, and Ken Griffey Jr. was card number 1. Ken Griffey Jr. didn't debut in Major League Baseball until April 3rd, but April 3rd was opening day. I think it was probably pretty clear that he was going to be on the team at some point in 1989, and at least, if not, premiering on opening day. So they took a risk, and they put him as card number 1. It paid off handsomely. Frank Thomas, though, is not in 1990 Upper Deck. And so the question is why? And first of all, we have to look at his other cards. He was in Topps with a great card with a minor league photo. We've covered this. I'm going to share a link to that somewhere maybe, or show you the screenshot. You can go find it in my backlog. He was also in Leaf, which is one of the most iconic cards of my generation. 1990 Leaf Frank Thomas, great card. Very iconic, huge card of my childhood. The Topps card, of course, as I mentioned, also has the no name on front, which I've done a video on that as well. No name on front, Frank Thomas, great, amazing card. I've done, I think, multiple videos on that card. I've done one on the who was running the bases, and turned out it was John Valentin on that card. And then the no name on front. I've done a video on that. Great, iconic card. I'm overusing iconic here, but they really are. He was also in the score set in their base score set, their flagship, I guess, and then also in their score update set. He was in the Bowman set with a nice photo, nice smile, pretty basic. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, he was in Fleer as well. So he was in everything except for Upper Deck. So who was in Upper Deck as a rookie? Juan Gonzalez was in Upper Deck. Gonzalez debuted in 1989. Larry Walker debuted in 1989. David Justice debuted in 1989. Sammy Sosa debuted in 1989. Dean Palmer, a guy I collected heavily as a kid, prospected, debuted in 1989. In 1989, Frank Thomas was in splitting time in A ball and rookie ball. And while he hit very well for a young guy, it was not clear that in 1990 he would be playing with the big league team. 1990, I believe, I couldn't get a clear answer on when 1990 Upper Deck was released, but the theory is that because 1989 89 Upper Deck released so early in February of 1989, and because it was so successful that they rushed out 1990, it may have been even earlier in 1990, whereas other sets released in spring or even later. And so they were able to see in March, April, May that Frank Thomas was tearing it up at AA Birmingham and was clearly going to be a major leaguer probably that season. And that is my theory, that there's not a whole lot to go by other than his stats in 1989 and 1990 and the timing of the 1990 Upper Deck release, which seems to me to be against Upper Deck's favor. If you're rushing out a set at the beginning of the year, you're going to, especially at that time where there was no clear rookie card designations, you were going to miss out on some of the players who ended up becoming huge. And of course, Frank Thomas was a massive player, maybe the best offensive player for the entire 1990s. One of the best. I'm going to get angry comments from people saying, "What about Barry Bonds? What about?" I know. One of the best offensive players of the 1990s. What do you think? Am I missing something in my research? You're going to have to let me know. I was surprised to not find another website or a video or something that covered this already. Even Google's AI search engine, Gemini, I think it's called, didn't have an answer. Didn't seem to even understand what the question meant. But, I read through a bunch of baseball card websites that talked about the 1990 release and Frank Thomas's cards, and it just wasn't that clear. So just a quick one today. Sorry, no Attic Find Friday. No time, but my vacation has started by the time this video posts. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be back on Saturday. See you all soon.